I'm here in the village of Holt in West Wiltshire with John Palmer, the writer and director of Holt Dramatic Society's next production, Three in a Bard. John, tell me a little bit about the play.
Yes, certainly. Three in a Bard is a play, what I wrote. It's an original piece, and it's a farce. It's a modern farce. It's set in a modern office. But the interesting thing about it is that it twines together three Shakespearean plots from Midsummer Night's Dream, Twelfth Night and Measure for Measure. So it's got a structure which people will be able to relate to if they know those plays at all, though you don't need to. The other thing that's interesting about it, it was built up through something called theatre workshops. So that involved getting a group of actors together and working with them over 3 months or so through a series of improvisation exercises to get them to build up each one of them a unique character that was drawn from their own experience and coloured by their own personality. And so the play that I wrote over this summer is based on those 19 characters that we ended up with, and those 19 characters inhabit the plot I've just described, drawn from the three Shakespearean plays.
Fascinating. The play had an interesting working title too. Do you want to explain that?
Well, in the early days, before the Shakespearean connection was even thought of, right at the beginning when we started the workshops ready to start this adventure, I didn't have a title at all, no working title, so people were constantly asking, what's it about? And of course I didn't know at that stage, so rather than say God knows, when they asked what it was, I just said Swamp Dog. And if they said what was it about, I could just say Swamp Dog, and in the end, the in-joke of God knows spelt backwards being Swamp Dog sort of stuck for a while. But I think the title Three in a Bard is now we're actually launching the play is a better title by far, because it smacks of being a farce, it smacks of being linked to Shakespeare, and it smacks of having three interlinking themes.
Now, you mentioned the Shakespearean element a couple of times there. One of the exciting aspects of this is the partnership with the Royal Shakespeare Company Open Stages project. I'd like to explain a little bit more about that.
Well, certainly. Soon after we started this project, which, as I say, wasn't linked to Shakespeare at all, the Royal Shakespeare Company in Stratford launched its programme of open stages, and this programme requires any amateur company that wishes to apply with a production they have in mind, which is either a straight production of Shakespeare, a Shakespearean play in other words, or is a production which is based on Shakespeare or has a Shakespeare theme. So even though we just started the work on developing characters, this seemed a real opportunity to link all this to a Shakespearean theme and see if that interested the RSC. And I'm delighted to say it did interest the RSC, and we're aboard. And what that means is that we are linked in our region with the Nuffield Theatre in Southampton, and there's been workshops led by professional directors and backstage people back in this summer. And it also means there's a festival drawing from those companies who are part of the Open Stages project in our region next June at the Nuffield Theatre, when we'll perform an extract from Swamp Dog. And if we're very lucky, and if we're chosen, the following month in July 2012, as part of the Royal Shakespeare Company's World Theatre Festival, which is linked to the Olympics, in Stratford. If we're very lucky, we'll be asked to perform Three in a Bard at Stratford as part of that festival.
An amazing opportunity. So if people want to see the world premiere in Holt in November, how do they go about getting tickets?
Well, tickets are available online. You can get the details of this in several ways. You can either go on to Facebook. If you do a search on Three in a Bard in Facebook, you'll find our Facebook page, and I hope your viewers will log on and become friends of that Facebook page and see what's happening. Or you can go straight to an internet search on Holt Dramatic Society, and there you can buy your tickets directly. There's an interactive part of the website that allows that. Or you can come in person to Holt and buy a ticket at Holt Superstore here in Holt, near Bradford-on-Avon, Wiltshire.
John, thank you very much for your time. Very exciting from the beginning of the story through to the performances in Holt in November, and then hopefully on to Stratford.
Let's hope so, and thank you very much for spending the time.
Thank you.